Good morning, ladies and gents. This is your favorite host, George Lesserbeing. I hope your wireless radio processor can pick up this show's signal because we've got a heck of a treat for... Gineer, is this thing on?
Your recorder has been functioning for the last 8 minutes and 25 seconds.
Hey folks, welcome back to the 355th installment of Wastespace. That's right folks, it's been almost a year since I started this podcast / radio broadcast / important news source, which means we've officially passed the frontier mark since the great everything irreversibly changed society as we know it. I know you probably can't wait for today's interview, but first, a word from our mandatory sponsors.
From the sweltering heat of the eastern swamplands to the sweltering heat of the western swamplands, all life forms need the same thing deep down: air. With air, one can continue moving, running, and fighting to protect their families from the giganute. And now, with Oxycling's new canned air product, you can bring that precious air with you anywhere you go. Just spray it directly on your face and all other O-class orifices, and you'll be able to beat back those giganutes all the way back to their broodmother's lair. Oxygen. You need it to live.
That was wonderful. What do you think, Gineer?
I'm not permitted to think.
Okay. Anyway, let me run down the latest news real quick. Right, so, if you're thinking of driving your Jeep down to Hemoglob Gulch, don't. Contrary to what the rumors say, there's no fuel there. It's just another trap set by those mean old firsters, just to curb some more of us non-city folks. I know I say this all the time, but I hope that one day, the empire of the first choice can accept those from outside their metro zones as sentient beings who deserve human rights. So what if we're racked with diseases that make us constantly vomit arsenic? So what if over 70% of us suffer from pseudomania? That just makes it less dangerous than real mania. Sorry for preaching. I try not to get too political for the sake of this show's integrity, but this is one of the few issues I feel strongly about. In other news, the Southside Slasher has struck again. 2 local personalities near, where else, the southern flame tundras have been found with their lungs where their eyes should be, and their arms where their mouths shouldn't be. These 2 dear old biddies have been rescuing people who have no fire immunities for over 40 years. As someone who's met them in person when they guested in our 112th episode, I can only express my condolences. My only relief is that they at least lived to the ripe old age of 42. Their deaths perfectly fit the MO of the Southside Slasher, whose recent killing spree has terrorized residents of the Wastespace's lower halves. Or at least they would be terrorized, were it not for, and I quote from a man on the road, "the constant, unending dread I already feel from the threat of War Master Razorback, whose tusks will gouge us all." This segs nicely to my final news of the day. While he's not the most popular War Master around, Razorback's influence has been steadily climbing ever since his recent debut. Now, I'm no expert on Wastespace politics, but it is this host's humble opinion that he was able to gain followers so quickly on account of the massive spikes coming out of his spine that fire laser beams in random directions. Not all is going well in his rule, however, as some of his boar squads have had their raids foiled by a mystery warrior. Could this be another spotting of Furious Frank, rumored Wastespace legend? I certainly hope so. Whether he's a selfless hero or just looking for a quick buck, I'm sure the world could use a guy like him.
Can we talk already?
We gotta kill a guy's whole family in an hour.
So sorry, guys. Folks, I've got 2 guests today. These raiders just happen to work for Razorback himself. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Alright, I'm Underground Frisky. I'm the last thing most people ever see. The guy who makes more widows than a feral meerkat. I see you on the road, you better turn around. Get me?
Hey, I'm Underground Bill. Very nice place you got here.
Now, we've had a couple ex-raiders here in the studio before, but never practicing bandits. What drives you into a life of indiscriminate slaughter?
It's not indiscriminate.
Yeah, sometimes we spare kids.
Oh, well. I see we're in the presence of saints.
Trust me, dead children taste way worse. Getting a proper meal is worth the hassle of dragging those little runts all the way back to camp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, remember the ginger fella with the chubby cheeks? He was all, "Please eat my brother instead, boo, I don't want to die."
Good times.
Yeah, wasn't so funny when he tried to shank me. So glad I got to taste his fat little fingers.
Good times.
Oh, whoa! That one was close.
Parking the studio caravan in the midst of a meteor shower radius was unwise.
I forgot to ask, what's with the bot?
Tin cans make me nervous, bud. Last one I ran into took my eye. I only got 2 left.
Trust me, Gineer is totally harmless. He helps me run the show's technical side.
My protocols forbid me from using any of my 28,000 methods of snuffing out a biological life form.
He doesn't need food, or water level 2, or even love. But I still love him regardless.
Your love is useless and illogical.
If that thing comes anywhere near me, I'm gonna go psycho on this whole place.
He'd do it, you know. We're big fans, George, but Frisky here just can't help himself once he gets going.
Frisky. Is that your real name?
Nah, man. Once we fall under the War Master, we get to pick out a new thingy to call ourselves.
Epithet, man.
Yeah, the thingy. It's like we're starting over, yeah, a whole new life, get me?
If you don't mind me asking, what's your real name?
You mean my old name? Before I woke up and realized who I really was, I went by Bill.
Wait, really? That must be confusing. Bill, why didn't you pick a new name?
I did. Bill just speaks to me, man.
Don't tell me you used to be called Frisky.
Of course not.
That would be stupid.
It was George.
I see.
Me and him go way back. Oh, we used to go driving around, running over dogs and stuff.
Don't look at us like that. Those dogs started it.
Oh, stupid dogs. Waste of ammo, if you ask me.
I imagine you'd have to spend a lot of cash points on weaponry.
Buddy, you don't even know the half of it. Those new ads on the broadcasters ain't nothing but a scam.
For those not in the know, Deathstructor Incorporated, everyone's favorite merchants of doom, is back in business after enlisting a sentient explosion as their new CEO. Gineer, want to roll one of the ads?
What I want is irrelevant, for I am but a machine.
Are you ready to die? I thought not! Stomp on this stupid bony face with our latest stock! Extra explosives, high-tech scope, trucks the size of elephants! We got them all! Ask any of our satisfied customers, especially the ones that are still alive!
Before I started buying from Deathstructor, I struggled with rival farmers threatening my family. But now, I can threaten their family before they even get the chance.
The hardest part of being a hired assassin is having to look into the eyes of a single mother who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Thanks to this new high-range laser scope, I can take out my targets from a hillside away, guilt be damned.
I tried out their new body mod program and now I have saws for arms! I can't hug my daughter anymore! Somebody put me out of my goddamn misery!
Radiation made my mouth sprout tentacles. This launcher that shoots grenades, which spilt into future grenades, doesn't change this. My life is ennui.
I got spikes on the back of my truck.
This many people can't be wrong! And if you think they are, I'll come find you and slit your piece of crap throat! Deathstructor!
That guy talks exactly like my mom. So glad I killed her.
Oh my.
I mean, who amongst us hasn't killed our own mom at some point? Show of hands?
What the hell, George? You never got the urge to whack Mama in the chest a few times?
Well, you see, I don't really remember my parents. I like to think they were decent people, but who knows?
You're missing out, man. It's like a rite of passage around here. Heck, Bill here even got to do it multiple times.
I consider myself lucky to have a mother who volunteered for that failed cloning program a while back.
Is the original still alive? Let it be known that Bill is shrugging right now.
I don't really keep up with which one was real. War Master Razorback's been keeping us real busy lately.
Is there any particular reason why you've pledged your service to him instead of, say, War Master Kaboot Overlord?
That guy? That guy's just some dweeb who likes katanas.
No dachis. I believe that's what they're called.
Besides, Razorback's the mega coolest. Did you know he has spikes on his back that shoot lasers? Wicked rad. That street warrior guy isn't gonna know what hit him. What the hell's his name again? Angry Andy?
I'm pretty sure it's Irritated Ian.
You're prepared to fight for Razorback against frustrated Frank, even after his recent declaration of war?
Which one? He gives a new speech every fortnight where he rants about some new asshole he wants to kill.
Gineer, could you show them the speech I'm talking about?
You phrased this as a question, yet I have no choice but to accept.
War pigs of Razorback! Our exile shall soon be at an end! We will storm these weakling villages like a tide over... weakling villages! When all the Wastespace is under my thumb, we will surround the metro zone! We will besiege the metro zone! Its walls will crumble! Its magistrates will be drowned in blood and steel! Its citizens, who have grown fat on our suffering, will be killed very violently. Yes! Killed very violently! Down with the Emperor! Down with the first choice! And if Raging Ryan thinks he can stop me, I'm going to be so upset! How do I take this off?
What a guy.
What a freaking guy.
And you're willing to fight against the Empire? You'd put your life on the line.
Hells yeah, baby.
George, just how old do you think we are?
I'm going to say, 24? 25, maybe.
Way off. Me and my boy here are less than 17.
But you don't sound young at all.
Maybe you get to age normally if you had a cushy trailer, colorless water, and no guzzle addiction. Thing is, you've got privilege, man. I've been listening to you for a while now, ever since you interviewed that guy who thought he was a bird. He flew around in those homemade wings.
Crazy how you actually got to cover his death.
Yes.
Who knew the splat noise he'd make when he hit the ground would be so loud to hear it from the other part of the hill? Billy here even recorded it for me. Gives me something to masturbate. Oh.
Incoming call from South.
We have a caller. Patch him in.
Heard you was looking for me, Georgie boy!
Caller, you're on the air. Any thoughts you'd like to share?
Only thoughts going through my head are the chopping when my knife starts swinging.
Same.
When my blood starts boiling.
Is this guy a poet or something?
No. A wordsmith? No. I'm the Klever they all fret about. The fearer, what stalks the underside. The South Side Slasher!
Oh my goodness! It's so rare for us to have a celebrity guest, let alone a caller.
He's a fake. Every psycho in Psychoville wants to be that guy.
A fraudster? Me? There's only one slasher. Only one homicide dealer giving you the death wheeler. That's yours truly, public enemy number one.
You screwed yourself over, dude. There's no number that rhymes with truly.
I just said I'm not a poet.
Sure, pal. That's just what a poet would say.
There ain't no war master in all the Wastespace who wouldn't slip you some cash points for handing over a poet.
And who can blame him?
Damn poets. What good are words gonna do you when I'm headbutting you over and over until there's a stump where your head used to be?
Frisky's got a grudge ever since that poet killed his mom.
I thought you said you killed your mom, Frisky.
Never said I wasn't a poet.
Hello? Notorious murderer killing for attention over here?
Sorry, Mr. Slasher. Is there any particular reason you're undergoing this crime spree?
Well, other than too much guzzle.
It's the only drug that's also an alcoholic drink.
Thought you never ask. Never did I think you would ask? Never, never!
Is he stalling for a backstory?
It all started when I was 11 years old.
Am I the only one who's still not used to the numbers after 8 being permanently infected?
I was always different from the other pack spawn.
Your tribe called your young pack spawn? Mine were nuisance sight.
Don't interrupt the Southside Slasher.
Yes, please continue.
One day, I stumbled upon a very special machete. It spoke to me, whispered wonderful things about my true purpose in the world, how I was destined to be a legend, someone who'd bring the scares onto every boy and girl, even war masters. Even those magistrates in the metro zones will quake at the name of...
I'm getting bored!
God damn it!
Look, guy, what was it, Slasher? Your material's stale.
What do you mean?
I mean, you sound just like anybody else around here, bud. Everyone's all, I'm gonna kill you, I'm a monster, here's my super special name. Even my boy here not too long ago.
So... I should try something new?
Maybe you can theme yourself after an animal, or talk to your machete like it was your girlfriend or something.
Uh-huh. What about my origins?
Well, starting off as a crazy kid isn't a bad idea. But then you just find the machete right afterwards, that just so half-baked. What if you try to ignore it at first and try to live a normal life, but then the whispers in your head just keep getting louder?
Yeah, make it psychological, like you're only gradually getting crazier.
You got any gimmicks?
Like?
You know, like special skills or powers?
Oh, like the photon phantom used to turn invisible.
No, not really. But I cover my tracks and I know how to isolate people for easy killing.
There you go, make use of that then. Call yourself the Southside Spider. Talk about how you're always hunting people down or luring them into traps, you know?
Yes, I'm starting to get it.
Oh, and don't forget to limit yourself to the southern Wastespace. You don't want to run into some other killer's territory, you know?
I'm the Southside Spider. Run into my web if you dare. Y'all are like flies drinking my venom, like a bunch of schmucks. And my next target is the street warrior himself, Scowling Samuel. I'm calling you out.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why not? He's just one man. One man who's about to find himself in the world of... What the? How'd you get here? Who in the heck are...
I read no life signs from this line.
There goes another bright spark, cut down in the prime of his life.
Let's hold our motorcycle helmets and to our chests in respect.
Yeah, let's.
Wanna go step on a raccoon?
Gladly.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Anytime, George.
Listening to the show keeps some of us in this waste space going, you know?
Yeah, man, see you around.
Goodbye. Well, listeners, that's all the time we have today. Tune in next time for our...
The life signs on your two guests have ceased.
What? How?
They were caught in an orbital strike. One of them survived, but was immediately torn apart by a pack of conjoined wolves.
But they just left 6 seconds ago.
Life is cruel. The people crueler.
Well, doesn't that just put a damper on things? Luckily, our next episode will surely have much less casualties. You'll see what I mean then, superfans. Don't miss it.
Wastespace.